Hey everyone, welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution. Today we are continuing our little series of rebuilt story mode islands, and today we're going to talk about and tour Isla Tacano. First, you can skip forward a minute or so if you like. I promise I won't talk about this very long. However, I do want to give a small channel update in regards to what's called COPPA, or the Child Online Privacy Protection Act. If you guys follow like Gaming Beaver and Clayton Fiordi, they're much more well-known, pronounced Jurassic Park dinosaur-y YouTubers. They've already made much more in-depth videos about this, but it even will affect channels like this, which are much smaller, or at least I think it might. And basically the short version is, come January 2020, all videos on YouTube will have to be designated as not made for kids or made for kids. If you designate a video made for kids, it basically means your videos aren't searchable and there's no comments, which makes growing the channel very difficult. However, if you mark it not made for kids and an outside agency determines that it is made for kids or it is remotely targeted for children under the age of 12, you can be fined about $42,000 per video. So obviously, with this channel being pretty much entirely dinosaur video games, I think it's reasonable to think that someone could call this content made for kids, even though that isn't necessarily my target audience. I'm trying to be family friendly, but I also wouldn't say it's targeted for 12 years and under. But obviously I don't want to take the risk of being fined $42,000 per video. Therefore, I've gone and for the time being, I've marked everything as made for kids. So come January 2020, if nothing changes, that means the videos supposedly won't be searchable and there won't be any comments allowed on the videos. So I'm not really sure what to do about all of that. My initial thought is that maybe I'll start live streaming on Twitch more often and then just upload the archives to the channel. But I'm optimistic that the current circumstances will improve and be a little more manageable. But for the time being, I hope you all understand my decision to mark everything as made for kids, because the fine of that amount per video is very hefty. Okay, so with that out of the way, I apologize, but I didn't want to just not say anything and leave you guys in the dark about what I had done, but let's start the tour of Isla Tacano. As you can see, I really wanted to recreate the vibe that you got before you had to destroy everything and rebuild the island. And I also wanted, this is the island when you first unlock T-Rex, so I wanted the Innovation Center and the T-Rex to be front and center. So as you can see, we've got a straight line, I think it's straight anyway, that goes straight to the Innovation Center. And the T-Rex is probably one of the first dinosaurs that you would see. I've made a pretty nice enclosure for it. This was actually the first dinosaur that I put in, so this T-Rex is the oldest dinosaur. I also even made this little area back here with a kind of secret hidden viewing center or viewing gallery to make sure that the T-Rex enclosure has really good visibility. And I also kind of added it's supposed to be like a little nature walk where you can walk up to the cliffside and look at the waterfall and whatnot. And also there is another viewing area. Oh, I guess there isn't, never mind. But you can walk right up to the fencing of our herbivore Jurassic Tour area as well. So let's look at that next. We've got another Jurassic Tour. As you've probably noticed, I really like using these instead of putting viewing galleries everywhere. I think this lets me be a lot more creative with the terrain and not feel like I have to flatten out everything. So our first enclosure has Stygimoloch, which is unlocked on this island from the Fallen Kingdom pack. So we've got a small herd of them. And Homalocephalae is also unlocked on this island, so I thought that would be a very nice partner for the Stygimoloch, even though it's part of the Dino Pack DLCs. So we've got a group of Homalocephalae in here too. Oh, perfect timing. We get to see him hop up on here. Alright. So the tour goes around here. This island on the campaign mode does not have sand available as a terrain tool, so that's why you're not going to see any sand, unfortunately. And now we're going to move into our Hadrosaur portion, which has Parasaurolophus and Maiasaura in it. They're pretty loud, I might have to zoom out. We've got the coastal Parasaurolophus featured, which is one of the challenge mode unlocks, which is actually unlocked on this island, so there's that. Speaking of dinosaur skins, so I've heard that tomorrow, well actually, it'll be the day that I upload this, I guess, the Raptor Squad, Blue, Echo, Charlie, and Delta will be available, and I've seen a screenshot of them, and they look to be very high quality Raptor skins, and I think it's like $2 for all 4 of them. So, you know, better late than never. They look really good, so I'm excited about that. And we've got Maiasaura here. I'm trying to see if I used anything besides the default skin. I don't think I did. Alright, so here's an aerial view, just in case you're curious what that looks like. And then we move over to our Torosaurus and Nodosaurus enclosure. We've got our glitching truck and being stopped by a Torosaurus. Very nice looking Ceratopsid. But yeah, as you can see, I really enjoy using changes in elevation. I think that's, you know, we don't have all that many terrain tools. I mean, we have a lot more than we started with, but having changes in elevation, I think, is one of the best ways to make an exhibit look new and more interesting. And I think we've only got 2 Nodosaurus because they're not very social. I actually really like the default one. It's like it looks like a golden dinosaur. But I think the one over here is coastal. Because I think I chose a lot of coastal skins for this island just because, I mean, you could argue that every island is coastal, but this one felt particularly coastal. So there you go. This layout is actually fairly similar to my Jurassic difficulty layout. I had the 2 hotels right here. What I did slightly different is I hid away with all these trees our hatchery, and security centers are all over here with the ACU and the Rangers. We've got our classic Jeeps waiting on standby, and I actually have a T-Rex ready to go that's been incubated because this T-Rex, like I said, has been here since the beginning, and it's actually quite old. Yeah, it's only 2 years or 2 age units, whatever, away from its expected lifespan. let's take a quick look at the island rating. So we've got very good dinosaur rating, and our capacity is a little low, but that's only... I think I have like 5 hotels here. It's just because the dinosaur score is so high that the capacity needs go up. You unlock a lot of really good dinosaurs on this island, which I kind of didn't realize during the actual story mode. So let's head over to this area next. We've got another hotel, and there's a power station hidden in the back that this path leads to, if you can see that. And let's see, I think this is our carnivore wing of the island, aside from the T-Rex being highlighted. So once again, I've utilized the gyrosphere as well as a viewing gallery. I've been enjoying using that combination. And we'll start off with Deinonychus, which is the raptor we unlock on this island. That's the vivid pattern. Another vivid. Oh, I must have put... This is the alpine. Where's the jungle? Did I even use a jungle skin? I don't think I did. Well, I'm pretty sure I've used that one a lot before. But so anyway, like I've said, I really like using the gyrosphere and the Jurassic tours, so that way I can have a little more freedom with the exhibit. Okay, we've got a disease. Let's handle that real quick. Thankfully, in story mode, the disease outbreaks are a lot more forgiving compared to challenge mode. Okay, so then we move over to the Hadrosaur enclosure, which is another DLC dinosaur, but I did have room for it, and I really like Hadrosaurus, and it's a unique dinosaur in the game, so I really wanted to include it. We've got 3 default skins and 1 coastal. This is the alpha. And I think the next store dinosaurs are making them panic a bit. One thing that I don't like with some of these enclosures, but I think I've managed to pull the look off reasonably well, is when you place water down, it seems to raise the terrain for some reason, and you can definitely... that's very pronounced here. But oh well. Do we have another sick dinosaur, or is our Jeep just not there yet? Alright, the Jeep's just on its way. And then lastly, we have Metriacanthosaurus in here. We've got... this is the coastal pattern as well, I think. I remember this is the one that we got to see in the initial trailer, so it's kind of a nostalgic pattern in that manner, I guess. And the other ones, the default one is in there somewhere. There you are. Good timing. This game looks amazing in the rain, doesn't it? So yeah, we've got our 2 Metriacanthosauruses, Hadrosaurus, and Deinonychus on this wing of the island. In my Jurassic difficulty playthrough, I made this area the facilities area. I had all of my hatcheries and research, fossil expedition, all that stuff. It looks like our disease has spread, so we'll just send a different ranger over here. Where's the other sick one? I'm gonna turn you around. So for this one, I obviously had plenty of money, so I went ahead and terraformed this area here and just flattened it out, and I was able to fit pretty much everything that I needed. I think, let's just look for fun. Do I have room for a power station here if I needed it? For some reason, it's saying, okay, I would have had room if I needed another power station. So that's where I put all the facilities. I figured this area here is pretty small, and it just prevents the guests from needing to come here. So, and once again, we've got a greenhouse, which it's always neat. I like to pair the dinosaurs up based on their greenhouse paleobotany needs. Let's take care of this empty feeder real quick, since we have a Jeep over here. Alright, so as you can see, our last wing of the island features another tour. I've done use the idea where the actual entrance is not connected to the habitat, which I kind of like. And first we have our Brachiosaurus Diplodocus, and I believe Dreadnoughtus is in here as well. There they are. Let's see, this one here is the alpine pattern. It's kind of, there's a better view of it with the sunlight. And this one is the basic Dreadnoughtus. Let's see if we can get, it's roughly the same size as the Brachiosaurus in the game. I remember I did the Mamenchisaurus and Brachiosaurus, and I didn't realize how much bigger the Mamenchisaurus was until that video. Here's our Vivid Brachiosaurus, which is the Jurassic difficulty reward for this island. I actually really like the noises that the Dreadnoughtus makes. It's very unique compared to a lot of the other ones. They seem amused by the tiny Jeep. And of course we've got Diplodocus, which is another great sauropod. I think I only have 3 of them in here though, just because they are so long that if you have, I don't know, of all the sauropods, I feel like Diplodocus, if you don't have a really big enclosure for Diplodocus, it just doesn't look right because its tail is so long that it starts hitting the fences and everything. But yeah, so as you can see, when I designed this enclosure, I put lots of little hills for the truck to go over, which I just think adds a lot of character to the exhibit. And it's plenty big for all of them. Okay, next we're moving into our Gallimimus and Archaeonithomimus enclosure, which I've tried to make look a little more Savanna-y. There's much more sparse tree coverage, and we have the fantastic looking umbrella tree as kind of our centerpiece. And I've also used the crag grass to give it a little bit more of like a yellowy look. And as you can see here, we've got our Savanna Gallimimus. This is the reward for completing any difficulty on challenge mode for Isla Tacano. I did not use the wetland T-Rex, by the way. I'm sure you guys noticed that, just because I feel like I've featured that one in pretty much every other video, and I wanted to use the default Rexy. And lastly is our Centausaurus enclosure. I just want to make sure there wasn't anything else hiding in there. I actually really like this dinosaur because I think its calls that it makes actually sound really good. The only other calls that Hadrosaurs make that I like are the Olorotitan and the Iguanodon, which I guess technically isn't a Hadrosaur. A lot of the other Hadrosaurs, they don't sound as maybe they're more realistic, but they just don't sound as pretty as I don't even know what the right word is. I just like the calls that the Centausaurus makes a lot. Nothing too crazy about this enclosure here for them. But once again, I've included some hills for the trucks to go over. And I've used the foliage tools quite a bit as well. Let's see, what patterns do we have? I believe I have mostly basic, and then 1 or 2 coastals probably. Yeah. Very pretty dinosaur. And that's gonna wrap up Isla Tacano. As you can see, as I mentioned earlier, I actually have 5 hotels. Two here, 2 here, and 1 up here, which is more than enough to reach the capacity goal for a medium-sized island. My dinosaur score is just so high because of all the dinosaurs on the island that it wants me to have more capacity. So this hotel actually wasn't planned. I actually had a water source here, and the sauropods used to drink on the other side of it. So, and I unfortunately had to get rid of that to make room for another hotel. So that's gonna wrap up Isla Tacano. I hope you all like this one. I think my favorite part of this has got to be the entrance area and how the T-Rex is pretty much the first dinosaur that you see, along with the Innovation Center and this little area here for the guests to walk around. That's probably my favorite part of this island. So I'll see you next time. We're going to Isla Pena, and I have a really interesting exhibit idea that I'm excited to show you all in that video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in that one.